Today I'm going to talk about retirement planning. I'm going to explain how your investment choices can make a huge difference when it comes to your retirement portfolio. Before we get started today, I would like to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. It'll really help us in order to create more content like this in the future. Okay, so today we're going to talk about your investment choices. So this is the third part of a three-part series that I'm doing, helping you understand how you can retire if you're starting out at the age of 25 with $0 in your retirement account. So as I had mentioned in other videos, there's a lot of assumptions that we're making. We're assuming what our annual rate of return is before and after retirement. We're assuming a constant rate of inflation. We're assuming a certain amount of contributions and what your gross salary is going to be. So in this scenario, just like the others, we're using $100,000 as your gross income. We're using, again, 2.5% as the rate of inflation. In this case, we're using the 16% retirement contributions, just as we did in the other video linked up above here, where I talk about a 25-year-old being able to retire at the age of 55 and what the plan is for that. And the only thing that we're doing differently in this analysis is that we're changing your investment choices. So the investment choices that I like to use the S&P 500 because it has historical returns that are around 10%. Now, you may be a more conservative person, which most of my analyses are fairly conservative because I make a lot of conservative assumptions. But you might be even more conservative with your money and not want to put all of it into the stock market because the stock market can be risky. You might be splitting that up between some stocks and some bonds or other investments for that matter. So instead of using what I did on this other analysis of 10% during your saving years or your contributing years and 10% or 7% during your retirement years, we are going to go to 8% and 5%. So we're just lowering it by 2% on each of those. That way you can invest a little bit more of your money into something more conservative. But I want to show you what that or how that impacts your retirement age, assuming all else stays the same. Now, obviously, if you are going to have a lower rate of return, you may want to bump up your contribution in order to still retire at that target age. These are all choices that you have to make. You have to look at your own financial situation and determine what is best for you. But in any case, let's get back to this. Changed our rate of return, lowered it by 2%. Nothing else changed. So we get down here to the age of 55, which is where we retired in the other analysis. You can see at 55, we have a little over $2 million. We look at the other analysis. At 55, we had $3.2 million. So just by lowering that rate of return, the before retirement rate of return here in this case, by 2%, it changed how much money we had at 55 by $1 million. So let's go back to that so we can see it's $1 million lower. Which means if we came over to the spending side, it wouldn't be enough. It would run out well before. Well, this is showing, this isn't showing that, but it would have ran out well before. So through this analysis, I determined that we would have to wait until the age of 62 which is right here. That would give us $4.2 million at the age of 62. In order to not run out of money before we hit around the age 90. So you can see that our investment portfolio is going down over the years. And you can see we have the assumptions of Social Security, which may or may not be there by the time you get there. But in any case, it's in this analysis. And you can see our gross income is going up by that 2.5%. Now, as I've explained in other videos, a lot of people like to think of your income in retirement as kind of a smile shaped. And that smile shaped basically says that during your early years of retirement over here and down into here, you are going to be spending more than you will during the middle years. The middle years, you'll be spending less because you're going to be less active than you were in your early years. And you're not yet going to have the expenses that you're going to have out here at the end, such as long-term care, nursing homes, nurses, different additional medications, and different ailments. So that's why they use a smile-shaped curve. All my analyses, I go flat because it's more conservative. Instead of it dipping down, I just go straight across the top here. That way, if for some reason we do remain more active later into our retirement years, or if our long-term health care has to kick in sooner out here, we're covered. So I like to take that conservative approach. I like to be fairly aggressive on my investment choices, but I like to be more conservative on the analysis. So in any case, to summarize, going from 10% in our pre-retirement years to our a 10% rate of return and a 7% rate of return during our retirement, going down to the 8% and 5% will add 7 years on to when we would be able to retire. So it will go from 55 years old to 62. So these are the type of things that you really need to be looking at when you are planning for your retirement, because the earlier that you plan, the better off you'll be. So I hope this helped. Please watch some of these other videos I have here, and we'll see you next time.